Things just went from bad to worse in the Lil Durk case after the feds are they're gonna hit Durk with new charges. And these aren't just like small incidents. We're talking about murder and attempted murder. Quick pause, because this might actually help you out. If you've ever needed access to your money before payday, there's a banking app. Wish the cest, everything gonna see all right, never commit suicide. We're gonna like that comment right there. By now, y'all are familiar with how the feds work. The feds can take anything you've ever done and turn it into a whole nother situation. That's kind of what they do with RICO, right? We saw in the Young Thug case a whole bunch of different crimes that people already went to prison for. They got re-indicted under a RICO and hit with all of those crimes that they already did. This is the same type of game the feds play.
So I bet, look, I guarantee you Durk done did so much and talked to so many people, been around so many dudes that he don't remember all this. Even if he didn't drink or smoke like that, it's like dealing with you can go through 2-3 weeks of business and forget a lot of stuff you did earlier on in that first week. I'm saying like a lot of stuff, like small stuff that's not written down or has nothing directly tied to you making some money or dealing with your family or something like that. And you popping out like you every day, like you popping out. Like Durk is not like a normal, he an entertainer rapper. So he moving, he on the plane, he on the bus, he on this, he in this car, he in this Airbnb. So he probably don't remember a lot of this stuff, man.
Now, I believe All Hip Hop was the first to break this news, so shout out to them. And it would state Lil Durk's case could expand after prosecutors signal they may add older Chicago and Atlanta incidents before trial. The possible expansion surfaced in a May 21st court filing from DeAndre Wilson, one of Durk's co-defendants. Wilson is asking a federal judge to reconsider his detention and let him out on bond while the case moves forward. Wilson's filing says prosecutors informed defense lawyers on May 13th that they are considering supplemental charges by June 3rd. The new charges would add 2 older alleged incidents as direct evidence, a 2022 Chicago incident and a 2019 Atlanta incident. That could create a major timing problem for all of the co-defendants because it'll knock the case off its current August 20th, 2026 trial date, requiring new arraignments, more discovery, additional motions, and more investigation. Wilson's lawyer says the 2 incidents do not involve him, and that is the core of his freedom bid. He argues he should not remain jailed for months, while lawyers prepare for events where prosecutors do not even place him at the scene. So basically, one of the co-defendants was told, look, we're thinking about hitting Durk with new shit. And he's like, what the fuck does that have to do with me? I wasn't there for that shit. I'm not getting charged with that shit. Let me out. Let me go on bond. Now, the Atlanta incident appears to trace back to January 2019, in which there was a shooting near the Varsity restaurant in downtown Atlanta. That Durk, whose legal name is Durk Banks, had faced felony charges in that case before the Fulton County DA dropped them in 2022. Those charges included criminal attempt to commit murder, aggravated assault, participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The victim was shot in the leg after an argument near the restaurant. Now, obviously, if you're a fan of Durk or a fan of Vaughn, you remember this exact incident. Because if you remember, this is when Durk and Vaughn allegedly robbed and shot somebody.
Case against a rapper accused in a shooting outside of the Varsity will move forward. Today, Lil Durk appeared in court where a judge ruled there was enough evidence for him to go to trial. Channel 2's anchor Lori Wilson is live near where the shooting happened, near the Varsity, and Lori, police say they have video evidence in this case.
Javita, APD says they used at least 5 cameras from local businesses, including this BP, as well as from the Varsity across the street in order to build their case against Lil Durk and his co-defendant. On Friday, detectives from Atlanta and Chicago testified in the criminal case against rapper Lil.
See, bro been getting into stuff really his whole career, bro. It's like, get into this, beefing with this dude. Every song is a beef song almost. Like, it's like, bro, that ain't no good. That ain't fun. You know what I'm saying? That's not a fun way to live, bro. I'm sorry.
Lil Durk in Fulton County Court. They say around 5 in the morning on February 5th, Lil Durk, whose real name is Durk Derek Banks, and his co-defendant Devontae Bennett were seen on camera involved in shooting Alexander Witherspoon, a person police say they knew.
They were hanging out. They went to a studio to make music.
The rapper and Bennett listened to the evidence against them in court. Police told the judge later that night the victim, Banks, Bennett, and others went to a nightclub, a gas station, and ended up in the parking lot of the Varsity. That's when Weatherspoon said he was robbed and shot.
He said his chain was snatched off his neck, and he had $30,000 stolen from him, and they stole the vehicle he was driving.
Police said Banks was seen on tape shooting a gun.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots at the victim, towards the victim.
Banks' attorney says this is a celebrity witch hunt.
Were it not for the celebrity status of these two individuals, then this would be an aggravated assault.
Banks released a single, "Turn Myself In," the day he turned himself in. It's gotten almost 7 million views. The prosecutor charging this wasn't just a robbery and shooting, but gang activity. She put a Chicago detective on the stand to testify that Banks and Bennett are members of Chicago gangs.
Is it possible to continue your affiliation and even commit crimes when you move out of Chicago if you're in a different city or if a different area?
Yes, ma'am.
Vaughn ended up dying before the case was resolved, and Durk ended up beating the case. And a lot of people try to say, oh, Durk must have threw Vaughn under the bus, whatever. But then I believe the DA came out and said if Vaughn was still alive, we would have charged him with this shooting. And I mean, if we just go and watch Trap Lord Ross's masterpiece documentary on Kingvon being a serial killer, we know he's trigger happy. So it's no surprise that Vaughn most likely popped dude in Atlanta. And from what I heard, that wasn't the only person he shot in Atlanta. But this is serious because if the feds are trying to use this against Durk, this is an attempted murder case. A dismissal motion.
So they're gonna try to pull this back up after all this time. They trying to bury him, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. They're trying to bury Durk, man. They trying to bring this up after all that time, like, and bring this back. And the other dude that was on the case died, and they said they was gonna put that stuff on him. Or he was, he was unalived, and then they said they was gonna put this stuff on him. This is crazy.
From 2022 said prosecutors reviewed the facts and chose not to prosecute, even though probable cause had existed for Durk's arrest. Durk's lawyer said for some reason they decided that Mr. Banks was involved since some of the people he affiliated were involved in the shooting. We strongly deny that. Now, the Chicago incident from January of 2022 was the killing of Stephon Mack outside of Roseland Community Center. Back in 2024, unsealed court records claimed Durk was behind the fatal shooting, but Durk has not been charged in that killing. That is the tension in Wilson's new filing. His lawyers say prosecutors want to use the Chicago and Atlanta incidents as direct evidence in the federal case, even though both predate the Los Angeles attempted assassination of Quandorondo, in which they killed Lil Pap. Now, everywhere on Reddit would they be breaking down this murder. If Durk beats his case with stopping the feds from charging him with Stephon Mack, well, Cup Crafty, I'm pretty sure you just put this into motion. But the shooting of Stephon Mack was when this guy, Elmer, fudded his way across the parking lot with a rifle, and this guy shot a pistol. And I guess this kid was the one with the pistol. They basically gunned dude down and then tried to say Durk was the one that paid for the hit, that sent the bag. The bag apparently never reached them. He never actually paid. But they were alleging Durk was the one behind this situation. And the feds would want to bring this up because it's another example of Durk allegedly paying for hits. Now, we could take this either way. We could take this as the feds are doubling down to secure a conviction and showing that he's been involved in multiple situations that share the same similarities, or we could view this as a desperate attempt by the feds to bring something else in.
Yeah, see, they're trying to get Durk, man. They're trying to get him, and they're trying to build up the, like, this is what he do for a living. This is not for a living, but this is what he do. Like, he done this before. He can do it now, you know what I'm saying? If we let him out, he'll do it again. That's basically what they're trying to say. So we'll see how the case, how the case evolved. They said they might have to go back. It was set for August. So we'll see, man. We'll see what the case is. But Durk is definitely in deep doo-doo, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, man. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, man. Like, and definitely let me know what you think, man. I'll see y'all on the next video. Let's